Welcome to the LiveIN Room, aka Live Room. I'm here with a special guest, Akaycentric.
Yo, what's up?
How you doing, man?
Good, how you doing?
So I'm just gonna jump right into it. So first question I want to ask is, if you could ever go back to your first ever performance and give yourself a pep talk, what would you say?
What I'll tell myself to embrace the nerves and just trust the process. I mean, for every performance, I always try to give my best. And I always tell people that the goal is not to be perfect, but to be able to connect with the audience. So apparently the energy that you receive from the audience is not something to fear, but rather something to feed off from.
So like kind of like the audience is giving you energy, giving you power.
Yeah, don't fear that, just feed off from that energy, so.
What's one song you wish you wrote?
Mm.
This is my favorite one right here.
That will be Essence by Whiskey and Thames. And the reason I say that is because it's so emotional and it has like a global appeal. And the fact that it's the song in itself, it's able to blend Afrobeats with such emotion and authenticity. That's something I strive for every time that I write my songs. So Thames.
Do you feel like that's one of the biggest Afro pop songs ever made?
I think that's actually one of the biggest, and no doubt about it. It's still the biggest till now. So.
Yeah. They got remixes and Justin Bieber got a remix or whatever. Yeah.
Yes.
It's a really good song.
So I wish I'd written that song. I wish it was mine though.
Is Thames like your favorite artist?
Thames is so unique. I love Thames. So Thames is amazing. Her sound is, I don't know how to put this. You can't box Thames. Thames is so versatile.
She's like, she could do pop. She could do a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Her voice is amazing. So.
Do you feel the same thing about Wizkid?
Wizkid is great.
But you only answer.
You can't put them in the same. You can't put them in the same category, though. Wizkid is amazing, but you get what I'm saying. You can't put them in the same category. Thames is more of a vocalist. Thames is Wizkid is an artist. I think it's very inappropriate to put them well, they're both amazing artists.
Right. What's something you learned about yourself through making music?
One thing I learned is that my resilience is even greater than I ever imagined. Music has taught me that anything is possible. Music has taught me to, stay calm, stay creative, and stay very open-minded every time.
So when you say resilience, what do you like? Resilience, is it in a way of like you're having to strive, like push forward?
Because the industry is very tough. We all know that, right? In the industry as well. So the industry is quite tough. It's a hard life.
Yeah, it is.
It's very hard. So I mean, I always tell Will, it teaches you a lot of things. It teaches you patience. It teaches you professionalism. It teaches you how to be strategic.
Yeah.
But it's a very hard industry. So it's taught me how to, it's taught me that my resilience was even way greater than I ever imagined.
Yeah.
So, and I'm still learning. I'm learning a lot of things as I move forward. So,
and persistent too. You gotta like,
oh my God,
you can't like, you can't stop. Like
you can't stop. You have to keep going.
Yep.
Like, you have to keep going. And even in the face of challenges, you have to keep going.
Do you feel like you put resilience? Do you feel like resilience is like a theme in your music when you go into making music? Like, what is that something you think about this to inspire you to make a song?
It's taught me to be very steadfast and very strong. I'm very focused. Like I said, I'm still learning as I move forward. So.
Okay, this brings me to my next question. Actually, perfect is what keeps you motivated and inspired to make music?
Well, the fact that people, I write songs that a lot of people can relate with. It inspires me. And of course, each time I write a song in my room and then you put it out and, you receive so much love, it's really inspiring. And also the fact that even in the face of, what's the word now? When the trends are changing, the fact that I'm able to stay true to my sound, that keeps me very grounded. So, yeah.
You're not quick to jump to...
No.
Yeah.
No. I always tell people, I'm not for everybody. Yeah. To be honest, in as much as I want to capture a large fan base, I can't be for everybody, and I'm not trying to be for everybody, because a lot of people can tell you're struggling when you're not, when you're not actually comfortable with your sound. And I see a lot of artists, have that issue.
Yeah. And they kind of don't focus on their fan base. They try to stretch themselves thin by going into different genres and getting as many people.
And it's a big problem when you jump from one genre of music to the other.
Yeah, yeah.
I have a lot of people who have those issues. I'm not here to preach, I'm doing my own thing, but you have someone, or there's an artist who's, say, like an Afrobeat artist, right? And of course, as an artist, you have to be versatile, but just ensure that you stay true to your sound. And there's a new song tomorrow that's Afrobeat, and then the song is popping, and the next thing the artist is in the studio doing an Afrobeat song.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then tomorrow there's a new R&B song, right?
Yep.
And it's popping, and you're like, where do you belong exactly? You're like everywhere. Just because this particular sound blew up doesn't mean it's for you.
Right.
So I'm not for everybody, to be honest. And I just try as much as possible to, give my fans the best.
All right. Do you feel, okay, this is,
Yeah.
so when you see somebody make an Afro beat song or Afro pop, and they're not from the culture, or they don't really understand, and you know that they're doing it because it's a trend, how does that make you feel? Do you have a problem with that? Like, what is your, because Afro beats, like it's popular now in America now. And you have everybody trying to make that sound. There was one point when everybody was trying to make like an Afro beats kind of song. Did that bother you in any way?
That doesn't bother me. It's none of my business. But I mean, it's none of my business for you.
Yeah.
But as long as you're doing it well, I mean, why not just feature an Afrobeat artist if you get it right?
Yep. Yep.
For example, I've seen a lot of movies, and I think there was something I saw on the gram where, let me use Nigeria as an example, and you watch certain movies, and they're trying to portray a Nigerian man, right? And then they use a Black American instead to sound Nigerian. Why not just get a Nigerian person to do it, right?
Yep.
And the person goes, oh, I need to go to the market tomorrow. Like that, we Nigerians can tell that's not even a Nigerian, right? So when I see other people who are not from the culture trying to do Afrobeat, it's fine, right? I mean, if I've even heard rappers try to, include, like, the sound. If it's your beat, and that's fine.
Right.
But if you're trying to sound like an Afrobeat artist,
yeah, why not just reach out to one?
I can't even imagine someone from Asia.
Yeah. Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. So
Does it?
I'd rather have, do a song, stay true to your sound, and then feature an Afrobeat artist on that song.
Yeah.
I think it makes a whole lot of sense that way.
I agree.
But I'm trying to do Afrobeat song, because it just sounds very weird.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree to that. That's the same thing with like TV shows now. There's like a lot of British men playing like American characters, like Black British men playing Black American characters. So I do feel the sentiment on that. Why not just get somebody that's from the region to play the character? It's abundance amount of people. So yeah, I'm on board with that. Okay, so what's the best advice you've ever received about balancing creativity in everyday life?
So for me, someone once told me, that, treat your art like a business, and, protect your passion like a child. So just stay very consistent and strategic, it's like, that's just a quote that answers that question.
Then that was really cute. Say that one more time. That was like really good.
Treat your art like a business and a passion like a child. So
that's really cool. Yeah. What piece of advice would you give to a new artist that's just starting out?
Stay authentic. One word, stay authentic. Because trends will come and go, but your sound and your uniqueness is your strongest selling point.
So stay authentic to self.
Stay authentic to yourself.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like I said, trends will always come and go. But I mean, your sound and your uniqueness is your best selling point any day, anytime.
Oh, damn.
And it's very tempting most times to always want to switch, right?
Yeah.
You hear like a trending song and like you want to digress. It's fine to do so, but I always tell you just try as much as possible to stay. Thames is a big example. Thames is a huge example.
Staying authentic.
He's extremely unique.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anyone doing it like terms right now. And there's a whole lot of other artists who are extremely unique as well. So stay authentic.
I think also that's a good one because when you're on the internet, it's easy to see what sounds is being trendy. It's easy. The internet has blurred the lines between what region you from, because once something goes viral, quote unquote, on the internet, everybody wants to copy that style, copy your lingo. Everybody wants to do that thing. So I think that's a good one, especially like internet kids, people who are like born in the internet.
I mean, I'd rather have something that everybody else wants to copy.
Yeah.
Rather than try to copy someone else.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
You know, that's just me. I'd rather have something that people want to copy rather than, you know, I hate to jump from
sound to sound.
Sound to sound doesn't make any sense to me. Causes me a lot of confusion.
So do you have a favorite do you have like I guess, all right, so this is the last one I asked. Okay. If you had to choose one artist to listen to on an island for the rest of your life, what would it be? You're by yourself on an island, stuck. This is the only artist you can listen to for the rest of your life on the island. Who would it be?
Jesus Christ. That is very tough. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. There's a lot of artists that I love, but like one artist that I have to listen to for the rest of my life without getting bored.
That's a big one.
Lionel Richie.
Lionel Richie.
Yes.
Oh, I wasn't expecting that. Whoa.
Yes, because I grew up listening to a lot of his songs until now. I still listen to those songs. So I mean, Lionel Richie is one artist that I would listen to.
Is this because you have some type of sentiment? This is what was Lionel Richie your introduction to music? The first?
Not really, but he's like I said, I keep emphasizing on authenticity. He's very authentic.
Yeah.
You know, and he's been doing music for a long time, and he understands the craft. He understands his sound, and then he knows what he's doing. So when you listen to his songs, you can actually feel that authenticity.
Yeah.
You know, and like I said, people can tell when you're struggling with your sound. So, Lionel Richie, any day, anytime, I'll listen to him.
Any last words or anything?
No last word. Just you know, look out for Akaycentric. I got some amazing projects coming this year. Good projects, a couple of music videos. You know, I know I've been not away from the scene, but I know I haven't put out any material. It's just cause I like to take my time to ensure that I give my fans the best.
Yeah.
I feel like if your song is evergreen, if you make evergreen songs, there's really no reason why you should always rush to the studio every second to record a song. Because let people feed off the initial song like done. I mean, I know several artists that put out songs every single day. I'm not one of those artists. You know,
I can't do that.
I rather have quality rather than quantity. You know, that's me. I rather use like 6 months to work on a particular song and push that song real hard. So I'm not gonna be in the studio even if I'm in the studio every day recording, I'm not gonna put out those songs.
Right.
I have to space them out.
Yeah. And you gotta make sure they're perfect.
Yeah, I have to make sure they're perfect. I mean, I'm a perfectionist and it's a problem. And I feel like that's the reason I haven't put out any single.
Because you feel like you have a perfectionism problem.
Yes, because someone in this room knows I recorded the song in his house. Right? You know, I know I put out that song.
Oh, okay.
Yes, because I listened. It was a good song, but I went home and I listened to that song. I was like, man, this is trash. Like, and I spent a lot of money on that song, mixing and all that. But I'm not just gonna put out any song just because I spent money on it. I'm gonna put out something that people actually are going to enjoy. Because once you put it out there, you can't take it back. So I'm very particular about my sound. So.
And that speaks to the authenticity, like the authentic side of being authentic to your music is a full circle.
Yes.
We just did a full circle, yeah.
So put out music with a purpose.
Yeah.